Set with me here at Granny Marble's kitchen table. We're about to have a big old chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad. Now remember, there's iced tea in the crock. There is soda water in the number 2 wash tub there on ice near the cabinet there, and there's always a hot pot of coffee on Granny Marble's old wood stove. So y'all partake of as much or as little as you like. We'd just like you to partake of the first appetizer of ag weather. And let's use the San Antonio area because that's right in the middle of down on the farm country. Today, 96 and 76, 50% chance of rain, 43 or 40 points. 92 and 74 on Thursday the 3rd, 50% chance of rain, another 40 points. 50% on Friday the 4th, a thunderstorm still possible, 93 the high, 73 the low, 15 or 20 points. Now, 20% chance of moisture goes Saturday through Monday the 7th. Oh, I'll call our highs 93, our lows 73, remembering a 20% chance of moisture. Tuesday the 8th, we have a chance of thunderstorms. 40% on Tuesday, 40% on Wednesday. Between the 2 days, maybe 17 or 18 points, so maybe a third of an inch between the 2 days. Now, our temperatures have dropped to 93, but on Wednesday they'll be 87, on Thursday 83, then on Friday the 11th, 85. So we are in the window for some moisture. We are definitely in the window for some cooler temperatures. Neighbor, we appreciate you listening each day on Down on the Farm Radio's live stream. Today, it's brought to you by the good folks at Lutz Auction Service in D'Hanis. Good sale coming up on the 12th of this month, so stay tuned. We'll talk about them, I believe, after the commodities. Neighbor, let's take a look at our commodities of ag interest, and I want to remind you, don't use these prices to make any kind of a trade. You folks that do that for a living, I know that you won't do that, but some of you are kind of windshield kind of agriculturalists, and we don't want to influence you in a way that we should not. December corn, $3.58 1/4 up 1/4. November beans, $9.58, even money up 3 1/4. Those are all up from last time. Bean meal, December contract, $3.10.30 by the ton. It is down 50 cents by the ton. Kansas City hard red winter wheat, the December contract down 5 1/2 at $4.80, even money. December cotton still down by 49 at 64.91. October live cattle down 122 at 104.27. October feeder cattle down 140, 139.15. October lean hogs at 47.50, 55.50. And your October class 3 milk contract up 16 at 18.43. September U.S. dollar index up 483 points at 92.82. Your December gold contract down 33 and 20 cents. That's 33.40 now by the ounce. $1,945.50 by the ounce. And your October West Texas Intermediate crude down $1.01 at 41.75. Neighbor, there's your commodities of ag interest during the noon hour. Neighbor, I want to remind you about Lutz Auction Service in D'Hanis, Highway 90 west between Hondo and D'Hanis, 7 miles west of Hondo, 1 mile east of D'Hanis on the south side of the highway. We've got an auction coming up on the 12th. You can go to www.equipmentfacts.com to register to bid online. You can come to the yard and preview this week before the sale. You can also call 830-931-4312 for more information. And they're planning to have a live auction online with bidding as well. You need to get registered. You can also follow them on Facebook at Lutz Auction Service D'Hanis. Also remember, go to the website and sign up for email notifications. Now let's take a look at some of the consignments. Here's a John Deere 317 skid steer. Here is a Case 580 backhoe. How about a Service Gyro 84 shredder? Here's a Crustbuster grain drill, a Rhino 12-foot offset disc. How about a John Deere 510 disc ripper? Here's a John Deere 8300 grain drill with a grass box. Here's a John Deere 8300 grain drill and a Great Plains 10-foot no-till drill with a grass box. Here's a Hay King 12 10-foot shank renovator. How about a 10-foot cattle garter, water troughs and feeders? Here's an 800-gallon fuel trailer, an Armstrong 5-shank renovator. Here's a Land Pride DF 2596 3-point disc, much, much more. Remember, you can go to salesbybud.com That's 9 a.m. start time. They're on Highway 90 between D'Hanis and Hondo, about 7 miles west of Hondo. That's Lutz Auction Service. Find them at Lutz Auction Service on Facebook. Remember, that's Lutz Auction Service, D'Hanis. Neighbor, let's take a look and see which direction cotton might be headed today. The cotton market markedly lower Wednesday as the U.S. dollar is seeing a stout recovery. If a weak dollar tends to favor cotton exports, then a strong dollar is taken as a detriment. However, cotton's Wednesday weakness is not all the dollar's fault. The fact that December cotton failed to post a new high for this bull move, coming within 1 point of its August high, sent traders into a frenzy. We know that the commitment of traders' data for managed money speculators says they're heavily long in cotton futures. Now, Thursday, USDA is going to issue its latest export data. The report comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Last week's data was seen as a disappointment, but since that time, there's been a renewed interest from China via their merchant channels. Moreover, China has issued a new round of import quotas for non-state buyers. That means independent Chinese textile factories are free to import more U.S. cotton on their own. The U.S. dollar is extending its recovery from its oversold position. The dollar recently hit levels not seen since, I guess, April. But ideas of any stimulus from Congress is either going to be delayed or it might not even happen, and that's going to cause the dollar to rally. Also, the dollar will be eyeing Friday's jobs data. Expectations are for 1.32 million non-farm jobs to be created. Today's support for December cotton lies at 64.55, then 64. Resistance at 66.45, then 67. Current volume, about 6,299 contracts. Thanks to Keith Brown from Commodity Consultants and DTN for this cotton update. Neighbor, I need to work on the grains and some livestock market operator reports. I'll check the cotton cash market from yesterday, too. While I take care of those chores, you folks visit with Tom Nicoletti on Texas News and Views.
Tropical August turns into transitional September. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Texas News and Views on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. More after these messages.
You're more than a rancher. You do what's right and trust others to do the same. That's the Texas way. Hi, I'm Pat McDowell, and we ranch near Shamrock, Texas. In 2019, your dollars helped the beef-loving Texans brand reach consumers nearly 300 million times. Efforts like the hit Hulu series BarbieQuest and successful advertising prove that your checkoff is working hard to keep beef in its strongest state. Find out more at TexasBeefCheckoff.com, funded by the Texas Beef Council.
What's impressive about Pioneer brand sorghum? I'm here in the Rio Grande Valley, Texas, sorghum country, but also sugarcane aphid country. This field is one of over 60,000 test plots. That's a lot of data, and the reason why Pioneer sorghum dominates the industry in yield potential and sugarcane aphid tolerance. A test plot in the Rio Grande Valley, another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative.
Today we go to Fort Worth, and National Weather Service meteorologist Tom Bradshaw is our guest. And Tom, we're going to recap August and weather in Texas and along the Gulf Coast. And of course, the big stories are the two hurricanes, Laura and Marco. And Marco made landfall first, and this is quite a historic event.
It certainly is, Tom. Good to be with you again. For the first time since 1959, I actually had two tropical systems in the Gulf at the same time. Marco made landfall first early last week. It brushed the mouth of the Mississippi River and then scooted off to the west, just offshore Lake Charles before dissipating. It never really got any stronger than tropical storm strength and was not a big factor for Louisiana or certainly Texas. Laura was obviously a much different story. It made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane south of Lake Charles late last week. Moved northward through Louisiana and then on into Arkansas. Dumped copious amounts of rainfall across Louisiana. We got lesser amounts over the eastern fringe of Texas. We saw anywhere from 2 to 4 inches from Texarkana southward to Beaumont and Port Arthur. But fortunately, being on the west side of the storm, those counties in far eastern Texas were spared most of the heavier rainfall that fell eastward with Laura.
And since then, of course, people are assessing damages both in East Texas and in western Louisiana as we move into the month of September. And, of course, it's still tropical weather season, and it's still hot temperatures, and rain is needed across Texas. So kind of give us an idea of what you folks are expecting there at the Weather Service for September.
Well, September-wise, September's usually a month when you start to make a transition from the hotter temperatures that we normally experience to somewhat more reasonable conditions, certainly by the end of the month. We also start seeing a little bit more rainfall. Boy, we could sure use it across the state of Texas. The drought monitor is showing anywhere from D2 to D4 drought conditions, exceptional drought conditions across a good part of West Texas, extending eastward all the way to the I-35 corridor. We're seeing moderate to severe drought all the way into the Waco College Station areas. But as far as September is concerned, we are looking at, unfortunately, a little bit drier than normal conditions for the month of September across the state of Texas. We're also looking at somewhat warmer than normal conditions. Big reason for that is that we're actually starting to transition into a La Nina type pattern with the El Nino cycle in the Central Pacific, and that pattern tends to give us somewhat drier falls and winters than what we normally experience. So we're starting to see the early signs of that. That's manifesting with the hot temperatures across the state in August and the warm conditions that we continue to expect on into September. So not a lot of relief in sight, with the possible exception of any tropical systems that we may experience along the coast as we move through the month of September. We're through 13 storms. Obviously folks need to stay alert. The season's not over yet. September's actually the peak month of the season for tropical activity.
That is National Weather Service meteorologist Tom Bradshaw with us today from Fort Worth.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to get insurance for Texans by Texans. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
This is Texas News and Views. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Thank you, Tomas. Let's check and see what we've got in the alleyway. Looks to me like it's some sheep and goats. So that means we're going to travel out to San Angelo, talk to my friend Benny Cox from Producers and Cargyle. He's there in his office at Producers. Benny, how did sheep and goats sell?
What's impressive about Pioneer brand sorghum? I'm here in the Rio Grande Valley, Texas, sorghum country, but also sugarcane aphid country. This field is one of over 60,000 test plots. That's a lot of data, and the reason why Pioneer sorghum dominates the industry in yield potential and sugarcane aphid tolerance. A test plot in the Rio Grande Valley. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative.
Neighbor, I think I hear cattle in the alleyway. We must be down at Caldwell with Carl Herman, Caldwell Livestock Commission Company. I spoke with Carl last night. Carl, it looks like you're busy.
We've been busy since Monday. Hauling cattle, getting cattle. Today, all day long, to be honest with you. I'm fixing to go pick up 2 or 3 loads this evening. Yeah. So anyway, it's been fast and fierce around here for a while. Looks like, I don't know, we're taking on about 900 now. I imagine we'll have 1,000, 1,100 before we leave tonight. Tomorrow, I imagine they're going to be stacked up. We've gotten kind of dry. The market's pretty good, and a lot of people have cattle ready to sell, so looks like they're going to bring them to town. We've got some 50% chances of rain tomorrow through Saturday, I think, but if we don't get much, we'll have the same thing going on next week, I would think.
I understand. Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you in Caldwell.
My number's 979-820-5349. Call the barn, 567-4119. If you're in the Giddings area, call Max Ebner at 540-8676.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
Bye-bye.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? I'm at the Center for Seed Applied Technologies in Johnston, Iowa. They call it the CSAT building, and it's where Pioneer tests Lumigen seed treatments. It's a gigantic 3-story high structure. I'm in front of several aluminum gravity tables drying thousands of separated bright red and green seeds. They're like rivers of color. Hold on, I'm gonna let someone pass. I can't tell you where else in this building these seeds need to go, but I can tell you why. Everything that's done here, from polymer testing to metering, is part of a process to develop seed treatments that protect yield against pests, like nematodes and early season diseases. Because better protection means better performance, means better yield potential. The CSAT building, another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
Neighbor, one of the best things about being a Down on the Farm listener is chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad, glass of iced tea, soda water's there in the number 2 wash tub on ice, and a hot cup of coffee. Partake of as much or as little as you like. Let's just all partake with Henry Pickett, Abilene Livestock. Henry, how'd the sale go Tuesday?
Well, we ended up pretty good considering we had close to 2 inches or better around the whole area. We ended up with 870-something cattle, 240 cows.
Good. That'll give the wheat farmers something to put their seed into, and I guess that'll stand easy for the cattlemen later on, too, also, right?
Oh, it'll be good in the long run.
Yep. Were you pleased with the price and quality as you looked across the sale?
The quality was pretty good on the yearlings and the calves. They were probably steady to $2 cheaper. Packer bulls and cows, they were down. Packer cows were down probably 2 to 5. Bulls were steady to, we had some bigger, high-yielding bulls bringing the 90s.
Okay. The Packer price going down, have y'all got a lot standing? How long's it taking them to pick the cows up to go to the slaughterhouse?
Earlier they were several days, but now they're picking them up by the next morning.
Okay.
So I guess they're caught up on their kill.
Okay. Do you know of anything for this next go-round?
We've had a couple of calls. They're hoping they continue to get rained out, but we've got one deal out west that said to be about 50 to 60 calves, and then a couple other deals, 20, 25 head.
All right. Well, tell everybody how to contact you.
Here at the sale barn, we can be contacted at 325-673-7865. My cell number is 940-733-8208. And we're having our first weaned calf sale in conjunction with our regular sale on October 20th.
Good deal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? Well, I think the nearest town is Millbank, South Dakota. I'm in a large shed belonging to a Pioneer sales representative. He's operating what's called a drum seed treater machine. It rotates. Looks like a cross between a smoker and a cement mixer. I can see green seeds tumbling inside. It's a little loud. Let me step away. This machine is applying Lumigen seed treatments to a customer's soybeans. Around here, farmers have to deal with Phytophthora big time. What seed treatment does is provide disease control at a plant's most vulnerable stage in life. Well, why is that important? You protect the seed, you protect the yield. Lumigen seed treatments. Another thing that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
Neighbor, now it's time to catch up with Leo Casas. Leo, how are you this second day of September 2020?
Doing good, Larry. I want to remind your listeners that I will be auctioneering the South Texas Cattle Marketing Sale this coming Saturday in Nixon. Going to have about 1,000 high-quality replacement cattle, over 300 3-in-1 packages, big pairs with good marketable calves inside. This is a powerful offering. Call me if you need additional information. Also want to remind your listeners we've got plenty of good replacement cattle available for sale. We have updated our website. It is correct. And we also have a lot of good bulls available for lease or sale. I can be reached at 361-362-5863. Keep up with us on a daily basis on Instagram. Casas Cattle _Rancher 3, or log on to my website for photos, videos, and information, CasasCattle.com, C-A-S-A-S, CasasCattle.com. We're the bull people.
Neighbor, let's crank up my old Poppin' Johnny tractor, and I didn't get to go down to the mailbox to check the grain, so let's ride down there right quick and see if the mailman left us our grain report. Well, it looks like that old flag is still up on the mailbox, and either he forgot to put it down or it hadn't come yet. So let me check to see if John Tuggle emailed one to us. I'll be darned, he sure did. Let's use it. Call old John. He helps us with grains every day, 800-288-4453. That's Tuggle and Company, Corpus. You can email him at john@tuggle.com. Number 2 or better Milo, delivered through Corpus. August delivery, D's plus 175, $9.52. We'll call Houston, D's plus $2, $9.96. We'll call Progresso, $8. Number 2 or better yellow corn through Corpus Christi in August. December plus 35, $3.93. Delivered to Houston, D's plus 20, $3.78. And Progresso will say $7.60 by the hundredweight. Hard red winter wheat through Corpus in August, D's plus 75, $5.60 and a half. We'll call Houston, D's plus 95, $5.80 and a half. And we'll call number 1 beans through Houston, August, September delivery, November less 15, $9.39 and 3/4. We'll call Placido, November less 60, $8.94 and 3/4. And we'll call Texas cotton, 1,667 bale of East Texas, 432 bale of West Texas. Prices ranged on the low side from $59.66 to the high side of $61.91. Now, neighbor, looks to me like that's all the time we have for the live stream at Down on the Farm. Thanks so much for listening all the way from Aspermont down to Corpus Christi. We appreciate you. Again, I'm Larry Marble. Neighbor, see you back tomorrow.